Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are looking at a set of data that completely contradicts the whole doom and gloom narrative we've been hearing about the London property market. Because if you follow real estate, the vibe has been, well, a decade of setbacks is how it usually gets described.
Yeah, it really has been one hit after another. I mean, between the political turmoil and economic shocks, it hasn't exactly been a picnic for sellers. But we have this new report from the estate agent Foxtons, which was analyzed over in The Guardian, suggesting that London house sales have suddenly rebounded to their highest levels since before the Brexit vote.
Which is just a massive shift. So our mission today is to unpack why this is happening right now. Like, is this a genuine return of confidence in the capital, or is it just a frantic dash to beat a tax deadline?
That distinction is crucial, and it really starts with the headline stat Foxtons put out. They reported that the number of homes under offer has reached levels we haven't seen since 2016.
And under offer is a really important leading indicator here, right? Because it means the deal is agreed but not finalized. So it shows you what the pipeline looks like today. It's a snapshot of current intent, not just ancient history.
Right, and to understand the weight of that pipeline, you kind of have to look at the timeline of trouble that Foxton's CEO Guy Gittins describes.
Yeah.
Pre-2016, the market was riding high. Then came the Brexit vote, which was the first major blow to consumer confidence.
And obviously it didn't stop there. You had the pandemic, of course. But then the political instability really ramped up. Gittins specifically points to the Liz Truss mini-budget in 2022.
Oh yeah, that was arguably the nadir for the market. That budget sent gilt yields spiking, which caused mortgage rates to just go vertical almost overnight. It entirely crushed affordability for buyers.
Yeah, brutal.
The market got so bad that 2023 was cited as being near a record low for sales volumes.
So statistically, the bar was basically on the floor. But I think that makes the financial turnaround for Foxtons even more stark. They aren't just talking about vibes here. They reported a 33% rise in adjusted operating profit for 2024. That's £19 million.
Yep, and a 30% jump in sales revenue, too.
Which is a huge jump in actual money changing hands. But this raises the biggest question. Why now? Interest rates haven't plummeted back to zero, and people didn't magically feel wealthier in late 2024.
Right. This is where the story shifts from a broad economic recovery to something a lot more specific. It's behavioral economics, really. It looks like this surge is largely driven by a deadline. Gittins calls it the stamp duty rush.
Okay, so the temporary tax relief.
Exactly. The release introduced back in September 2022. The government raised the threshold for when you actually start paying stamp duty. For first-time buyers, you currently pay nothing on the first £425,000 of a property.
Which is huge in a pricey market like London. But in the October budget, Rachel Reeves confirmed that this relief gets scrapped on March 31st, 2025.
And that date is the cliff edge. On April 1st, that tax-free threshold drops straight back down to $300,000.
So let's do the math on that for you. If you are buying a flat for £425,000 today, you pay zero tax. If you buy that exact same flat in April, you are suddenly writing a check to the government for several thousand extra pounds.
And that is cash up front. You can't just tack that onto your mortgage.
Right.
So for a first-time buyer stretching just to get on the ladder, that's a total deal breaker. What we're seeing in the data, that huge surge in under-offer homes, is people just accelerating their life plans to beat that March 31st clock.
Which totally explains why the activity is so condensed right now. Feels less like a slow, steady recovery and more like a sugar rush induced by tax policy.
That's the main worry. Gittins is optimistic, though. He notes that activity in early 2025 is still tracking above previous years. But he adds this massive caveat: the future depends almost entirely on the Bank of England.
Because once the tax incentive is gone, we are right back to the reality of monthly mortgage payments.
We are. If interest rates don't come down fast enough to offset that higher tax bill, and the general cost of borrowing this whole boom could just fizzle out the moment the calendar flips to April.
It's a fascinating case study in how policy deadlines can completely distort market data. We're looking at the best sales figures in nearly a decade, but they are built on a foundation of act now or pay more.
It really is. And it leaves us with a provocative thought to chew on. The data proves people clearly want to buy in London, and they evidently have the money to do it. But they only seem to make a move when the financial penalty for waiting becomes too high.
Yeah, so are we actually witnessing the start of a new property bull market?
Yeah.
Or are we just watching everyone rush for the exit before the prices jump?
That is the multi-million-pound question.
Definitely something to mull over.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the London property market. We will catch you next time.